Now, welcome to another news from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. A slightly later than normal edition because we just got done watching the World of Warcraft expansion announcement, which we might do a video on a little bit later.
Dragonflight.
Yes, Dragonflight. I've been playing WoW on and off for 17 years since it first came out, so I don't know, maybe people would be interested
for
in.
about 10.
You have been on and off too.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, let's get to the news.
The news. Top story today. Liam Neeson throws fans off the trail. So, while out promoting his new movie, Memory, Liam was asked, not specifically about Kenobi, but if he would ever consider coming back to Star Wars if given the chance. His response, "Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
That's
If it was a
voice.
film. Yeah, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV. I must admit, I like the big screen, you know." Well, of course, this could just be some misdirection, possibly deflection, as he wouldn't be allowed to say if he was in it. In fact, he has previously claimed he was not approached about returning for this series. In canon, we know Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are still in touch, as they commune during one of the short stories in From a Certain Point of View, which takes place during A New Hope. But, even more factually, there is a passage from Skywalker, A Family at War, that stated Obi-Wan learned how to commune with Qui-Gon exactly 10 years after being told by Yoda about Qui-Gon at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So, by that timeline, the show is in the right spot for that to happen.
Very coincidental, I think.
I think so, too.
Well, I mean, for someone who doesn't like the small screen, he did come back and do Clone Wars. He did a couple episodes of Clone Wars. His voice,
Well, he
of
didn't
course.
not like the small screen then?
Maybe he was okay with the small animated screen back then.
Well,
But no, I don't think this means anything at all. Because as you pointed out, if he is in Kenobi, he can't say as much. And if he's been approached, even if he said no, well, I mean, I guess he could say he was approached. I can't really stop him from saying that, but...
And nothing to keep in mind is originally, didn't they say that the original concepts for Kenobi was a film?
Yeah, that's true, too.
Not to mention, he talks about being a snob when it comes to TV. Disney Plus isn't exactly TV.
Not exactly, but I think a lot of actors kind of consider it TV,
I know,
quote-unquote.
but these could be small things that he's saying that aren't exactly lies.
True. It's from a certain point of view. Very, very Jedi-like.
Very Jedi-like, very
Yes.
Qui-Gon-esque.
Yes. So I mean, if he's not in there, that, as I've said before, once you talk to Ewan McGregor and he says, yeah, I'll do it, your next phone call is to Liam Neeson. We need you because we're doing Kenobi, and you are a big part of this story. You and the Force go, obviously, I'm not going to explain why we need Liam Neeson. You probably know, but it's an absolute must that he is in this series. So
I also think it's pretty essential. Not to mention, I mean, the Skywalker Family at War was a newer book. Why would you run that exact timeline in the Kenobi if you weren't going to use him? You weren't going to use Qui-Gon in there. You could have had this be 9 years before, or 11 years, or... You didn't have to pick the exact time frame that this book states is when they started communing.
Plus, I mean, he himself is not going to be in the series more than it would be his voice.
Most likely, I
because
agree.
we know Qui-Gon cannot fully manifest. We learned that in Clone Wars. So, if anything, it'll be a voice and maybe a hazy blue image. He wouldn't even need to do anything but show up for a day, record some lines, maybe have his image scanned so we can do
Right.
So he could be... Again, from a certain point of view, not in the series. It's just his voice and his image.
They could even just be reusing Qui-Gon lines.
In
archived lines,
theory.
lines he recorded for other things. Maybe he didn't technically record anything new, but gave him permission to use what he already had.
Yeah, I mean, well, they don't even need his permission at that point. I mean, it's already theirs. But
somebody else imitated Qui-Gon.
Like you were doing quite well at the beginning, so maybe Sailor Naboo as Qui-Gon Jinn.
Skills
Exactly.
with a lightsaber.
But no, I'm going to assume this series will end more or less with him finally reaching Qui-Gon. That's part of the point. We already know Kenobi is going to be broken and kind of lost his way, so the series almost certainly ends with him finally making communication. I'm not saying the whole series is going to be him having talks with Qui-Gon. It's going to end with him finally reaching Qui-Gon, and then we'll probably never see what happens after that, or we might get a comic or a book.
Well, I'm curious if this might have any relation to what we read in the Kenobi book, where it kind of sounded like Obi-Wan might have been talking to himself for a long time before maybe he finally gets an answer.
Yeah, well, in the Kenobi novel, Legends 1, the Expanded Universe 1.
Yes.
He does talk to Qui-Gon, but Qui-Gon...
Doesn't answer.
Spoiler alert, never answers, yeah.
It's not really a spoiler if the book's not canon, right?
Well, I mean, it's still a good book worth reading, but I mean, I don't think
book.
that's really ruining anything because he's just always kind of mentally, not always, there's 5-6 times he mentally talks to Qui-Gon for...
Like we said before, I would love to see Easter eggs come from that book.
Sure, absolutely.
There's no reason
Easter
why
eggs
they
I'm
can't.
fine with, yeah.
Like
There's
the
some-
Yopi he rides around on, why can't it be called Rue?
Sure, and why can't it have a baby or two?
A baby.
Or 2 by then, come on. This is 10 years. Well, by that point, it wouldn't even be a baby anymore, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic, but I don't think this means anything. I think if he's in it, he can't say, and I think he's going to be in it, and he can't say, basically.
He's going to Andrew Garfield it?
Yeah, exactly.
bitter end, I'm not in it,
I think
guys.
Andrew Garfield is still saying he wasn't in Spider-Man No Way Home. No, I wasn't in. That wasn't me. That's
I wasn't in it.
No, Andrew, you can. It's okay. We've all seen it now. No, that wasn't me.
That wasn't me, I swear.
Anyway, let's move on to the next story.
All right, for our next story, trailer dropped yesterday for Thor, Love, and Thunder.
It did indeed.
I think I'd like a little more Thunder, a little less Love.
I'd like a little more Thor, a little less Chris Hemsworth Thor. I know people are gonna be like, "What? What does that mean? What are you saying?"
No, I get what you're saying. Thor from the Avengers. Thor from Thor. Thor
And even
from Thor the Dark World.
Even though it's not a much loved movie, yeah.
Yeah, after even Age of Ultron Thor. Then after that, they hit a point where they didn't feel the Thor franchise was doing very well, so they went, let's just make him an idiot.
Well, it's not so much a
lovable goon.
Yeah, well, I don't even know that's the right way to put it. But you're right. I think Thor the Dark World was really the nail in the coffin of Thor. You know, the mighty Thor and the idea that he is going to act godlike. And, you know, the comic book Thor pretty much gets abandoned.
Well, they kind of... Well, in Thor Ragnarok, he's still there by the end, where he's assuming responsibility again.
Sort of, but then Endgame.
And then in Endgame, they said, you know what?
Let's make him fat, Thor.
Let's just traumatize the heck out of him, because this man clearly has never been through trauma. Oh, wait. He's lost his mother, his father, his brother.
Well, that's what they're implying. It's all kind of come in one big burst, so he breaks.
I just don't see Thor breaking. Not after he had just found himself again.
Sure. I guess, I mean, I think it's all a decision based on what people reacted to. It's not really a story decision with Thor. They realized Chris Hemsworth is an amazingly charismatic person. He's, I mean, just look at the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. The best part of that film was probably Chris Hemsworth's, character in there.
He was.
Sorry to say it. Like, I'm not trying to bash the film, but he was the best part of that movie. He's very funny. He's very charismatic. And he also works in the serious role. He can work as serious Thor, but, if you give the average person the option between funny, charismatic Thor or serious Thor, they're going to want the latter, or they're going to want the funny Thor.
Yeah, so they jumped back to Taika Waititi's version of him from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, this is basically Thor Ragnarok 2 is what it looks like to me.
Yep, they added in some Guardians of the Galaxy. They added in the Greek gods we mentioned were lacking earlier when we were talking about Moon Knight.
Yeah, I know. We mentioned, I wonder when Hercules is going to show up. Looks like we might be seeing
Zeus is
that.
there. So
yeah.
Are they going to imply that they are aliens as well?
I don't know, because now we have the Egyptian gods who they're implying are gods. And
well, that's different.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there.
No, but to be clear, I enjoy funny Thor. I enjoy Thor Ragnarok. I just don't find it to be a very comic book, adaptation of Thor, which is something I've read a lot of. I like comic book Thor. I grew up reading comic book Thor. It has been a nickname of mine for a very long time because I have a vague resemblance, not to Chris Hemsworth, but to, the comic book Thor. I'm a tall, big guy, long blonde hair at one point, and, well, right now too, don't I? But no, it's been a nickname of mine for a while, so it's not just that I took the name for this channel. I just picked a nickname I've had for a long time and put the Skywalker on the end, and that's where I am.
I worry that Marvel's going to overstretch. I mean, we're going to get off of No Way Home, which was a nice, more felt self-contained type story in a way. Then we're moving into Multiverse of Madness, which is going to take us across space and multiversal stuff, which is going to look nuts. And now Thor looks like he's traveling all over the place, too. When you make your universe too big, that could also be a problem.
Yeah, I feel like Phase 4 has been no consistency at all. I mean, it's just
It
kind
doesn't
of
feel
here
like it.
and
We're
there
waiting
and
for
everywhere.
that piece that brings it all together,
Well,
like the Avengers did for the original series.
Yeah, well, they did say there is no Avengers movie in this phase, if I remember right. And I don't know that that's playing so well because it's just, like, again, it feels like everything is just kind of haphazard. We're going to do this series, we're going to do this movie. I mean, there is with the multiverse and the Wanda and the No Way Home. And, yeah, there is a kind of a running, thread there. But it feels like everything else is just throw it at the wall, see if it sticks, and see if it makes money, and that's that.
Yeah, they're at a weird point right now for Marvel where the next big thing really hasn't fully manifested. I mean, we're seeing if Kang really is going to be the next big thing. Well, they started it in their Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
Which I feel like you're going to get more people watching the movies than you're going to get watching a Disney Plus show. I would say
so, yeah.
So the next time we're supposed to see Kang isn't until Ant-Man Quantumtinium something.
Quantumtinium, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Ant-Man, is it Ant-Man and the Wasp? And I don't remember what it's called. You're right, but it is the next
quant something.
Yeah, the quantum realm. Tidium.
That I didn't look it up beforehand. All right, but yeah, so we kind of have this no man's land we're sitting in right now. We're going, okay, so what is our big threat? So instead of finding a big threat, you're having your heroes find themselves. I mean, again. Thor now has to find his way back from whatever he's currently turned into. I mean, he's got his little training montage, and he's like, aha, love in the galaxy, and looked like he was planning his acts, and maybe leaving the Guardians even.
I don't know.
After his runabout with them.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this anymore.
To go on another trip to find himself. Isn't that what he was doing in the first movie? He found himself and...
Yes, it was. That was exactly what the first movie was about. It was about realizing
who he is,
and the duty that comes with the power. With great power comes great responsibility.
And in the third movie, he once again found another facet of himself where he was ready to lead his people, but then he's realized now that he's not meant to be a king. He's meant to be the hero, the Guardian, one who goes out and does the battles, not the one who stays home and leads the people, which is great. But now he's off again.
Looking for himself.
Because he's once again gone through trauma, and now he's got to find himself again.
Yes. Which I'm sure it's going to be a funny movie.
Can you find Loki along the way?
Probably will.
That's
we can't have Thor without Loki.
Oh.
And we do know there is a Loki floating around now.
Right, but he's in the TVA.
Alternate Avengers. Well, sure, but come on now.
Well, now there's technically a lot of Lokis floating around, aren't there?
There's a lot of everybody floating around, but we do know that there is another character, Loki, out there.
There's always another Loki.
Yeah, sometimes it's a crocodile or alligator and whatever. But no, I mean, like I said, is it probably going to be a funny movie? Am I probably going to enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, probably. Is it the Thor I would prefer? No, not necessarily.
I'll leave my reservations on that one. I mean, I have enjoyed both versions of Thor.
Again, it's not that I haven't enjoyed them, but as someone who's been a fan of Thor most of their life, who's read the comics and, just falls in love with that character, you see it kind of used in a totally different way. And
they need to balance the team better is what needs to happen, for one.
What do you mean?
Well, how many serious characters are on the Avengers roster versus how many not so serious?
Yeah, fair enough.
They tried to move Banner from the serious side to the not serious side, and that didn't go well.
No. I don't think anybody liked...
No. Professor Hulk?
Professor Hulk, yeah.
No. But isn't there some sort of scene somewhere? Was it in Captain Marvel? Or Shang-Chi where he was back to Banner?
Yes, he was at
the end scene of Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't watched that one in a while. Now I want to.
No, we haven't. We usually watch them twice. We'll usually watch them in the theater and then when they come out in home video.
Busy,
and then we haven't really done that with the last. We haven't even watched No Way Home yet again.
We haven't watched Black Widow.
We haven't watched The Batman again. That just came back on HBO.
We haven't watched Eternals again.
Yeah, I wonder why. But anyway, no, some of them were better than others. That's all we'll say. But for now, that's all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about Qui-Gon Jinn being in Kenobi. Do you think that's just inevitable and Liam Neeson is playing with us? Tell us what you think about Thor Love and Thunder. Are you excited? Do you prefer the old Thor or funny Thor? And do you want to see us talk about World of Warcraft, the new expansion, or just the game in general?
For the Horde.
For the Horde, indeed. But anyway...
Sorry, everyone. We're not Alliance players.
No, I'm not Alliance. Alliance scum. But no, I'm kidding. No, I'm not, actually.
Well, we each have a character on there at max level for funsies.
After all these years, you had to know what the other side...
He's a traitor. Really think of you.
Yeah, he's a spy and a traitor. He's an informant for the Horde. But anyway, Leave your comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.